Good morning, students. I hope you all understood the first part of economics lesson 1, that is gross domestic product. Students, before entering into the lesson, please note down all the points which is presented in this video. Then only you can revise and understand the continuity of the lesson. In last class, we discussed about definition of GDP, various measures of national income and composition of GDP. In this section, we are going to see economic growth and development and its differences. Before entering into the section, we just recall our previous portion. What is a good? A good is something you can see and feel. It is something you can use, that is called good. A service is something done for someone else. Sometimes people are paid for the service, sometimes they are not. Next, definition of GDP. The GDP is the market value of all the final goods and services produced in the country during a time period. That is called GDP. Here, gross means including all the three sectors, that is agriculture, manufacturing and services. Domestic means only done in country. The product which is produced in the country, that is called domestic product. Then production, value of products and services in currency which have been produced in single financial year. So all these combined together called gross domestic production. Next we saw components of GDP. The components which is present in gross domestic product is consumption, investment, government spending and net exports. So these are the components which is present in gross domestic product. Next, measuring of GDP. It is measured by three approaches. One is expenditure approach, income approach and value added approach. Next we saw various terms associated with measuring of national income. That is GNP, that is gross national product, GDP, gross domestic product, NNP, net national product, NDP, net domestic product, PCI, per capita income, PI, personal income, DI, disposable income. So these are the various terms associated with measuring of national income. Next we saw composition of gross domestic product. The Indian economy is broadly divided into three sectors which contribute to the GDP, that is primary sector. This primary sector is also called agricultural sector. Next, secondary sector, which is also called industrial sector. Then tertiary sector, which is also called service sector. Okay, let's start our today's portion. In this section, we are going to learn economic growth and development. As per the economist Amartya Sen, economic growth is one aspect of economic development. Economic growth without investment in human development is unsustainable and unethical. So, economic growth and economic development are interlinked. Without making development for people, that country will not achieve the growth what they expect. What is economic growth? It is when the economy produces more goods and services. It is the quantitative measure which consider the rise in the output produced in an economy or nation in a particular period in its monetary value. So it is measured by the amount of production. If the country produces more number of products than other, means it is considered as economic growth country. It is measured by gross domestic product and gross national product. Next, economic development. The process in which people in a country become wealthier, healthier, better educated and have greater access to good quality housing. So, when the people present in the country get all their basic needs, then only it is considered as economically developed countries. So, the features of economic development are literacy rate, infrastructure, internet access, academic level, access to good quality housing, people shift from agriculture to industry, standard of living, access to good quality healthcare. So these are the features involved in economic development of the country. The economic development is a broader picture of an economy which takes into account an increase in production level or output of an economy along with an improvement in the living standard of its citizens. So it is a qualitative measure. Economic growth is quantitative. Quantitative means the amount of production present in the country. Qualitative means it is measured by the people happiness. So it is a qualitative measure which measures improvement in technology, labor reforms, rising living standard, broader institutional changes in an economy. In the economic development, they have to analyze the need of the poor people and have to fulfill their needs. Then only it is considered as economic developed country. Next, Human Development Index. It is an apt tool to measure the real development in an economy. I already told economic development means to fulfill their basic needs of people. So, Human Development Index is an apt tool to measure the real development in an economy. It is a summary measure of average achievement in key dimensions of human development, that is a long and healthy life, being knowledgeable and have a decent standard of living. So STI measures the life expectancy at birth. Expectancy means the state of thinking or hoping that something good will happen. Next, average education level. Next, standard of living of people. The STI is a composite index of life expectancy at birth, adult literacy rate, and standard of living measured as a logarithmic function of GDP adjusted to purchasing power parity. These were devised and launched by Pakistani economist Mehboob ul Haq in 1990. Nobel laureate Amartya Sen, who brought Nobel Prize in our country, utilized Haq's works in his own work on human capabilities. It has been used since by UNDP in its annual Human Development Report. Next, we are going to see difference between economic growth and development. Economic growth. It is the positive quantitative change in the output of an economy in a particular time period, which means economic growth will focus on increasing the quantity of product, that is, number of product in a particular time. Economic development considers the rise in the output of an economy along with the advancement of human index development, which consider a rise in living standard, advancement in technology, and overall happiness index of a nation. That is, in economic development, country will consider the happiness of the people like living standard and advanced technology along with the production. So, in economic growth, they will consider only the number of production, but in economic development, they will consider the happiness of the people. Next, based on the concept, economic growth is the narrower concept and economic development is broader concept. Narrower concept means it will focus on profit alone, but in economic development, the country have to care for the welfare of the people. Next, nature of approach. It is quantitative in nature, but in economic development, it is qualitative in nature. I already said they focus to increase the production of the country to get more profit, but in economic development they consider quality also. Next, based on scope, economic growth rise in parameters like GDP, GNP, FDI, FII, etc. But in economic development, it is rise in life expectancy rate, infant improvement in literacy rate, infant mortality rate and poverty rate, etc. Next, it is short term in nature, but in economic development it is long term in nature, because economic growth, they increase the number of labor, they can achieve their goal in short period, but in development they have to analyze the need of the poor people and have to fulfill their needs. Next, applicability. Economic growth will applicable to developed nation. Economic development is developing economies. Next, measurement techniques. Economic growth will increase in national income. Economic development will increase in real national income, that is per capita income. So it can be considered by individual man income. Next, developmental path based on GDP and employment. In the development path of India, it first undertook the policy of closed trade. This was to give a thrust to domestic industries. Domestic industries means industries which is present within the country and reduce dependence on foreign products and companies. So when the government encourage the industries present in their own country, automatically it will reduce the dependence on foreign products. Then trade and interaction with the outside world remained limited. So when the internal industries developed, automatically the interaction with outside getting reduced. This outlook continued till 1991, when India finally decided to open its border to free trade and liberalize its economy by allowing foreign companies to enter into the Indian economy. Next, a thrust was given to employment generation under the 5-year plan. So, based on this 5-year plans, most of the people getting employment opportunity. This was to make up for a rising population and lacking jobs to absorb the increased workforce size. Because of overpopulation, so many people are not getting any job. Next, poverty alleviation came as a corollary of rural development and a part of the development path of India. Eradication of poverty plays an important role to develop a country. So how we can eradicate the poverty means by giving a good education to the people and giving better health care, better job opportunity, more income, more purchasing capacity. More purchasing capacity means reducing the rate of products. Then only they can buy the product which they need. Next, better standard of living, then eradication of poverty. India inherited a poverty-stricken economy from the British rule, which had destroyed its resource base completely. Next, the public sector was given significant importance. Private companies and industries were subject to strict regulations and standards. The private sector is a part of the economy that is run by individuals and companies for profit and is not state control. So private sector is run by individuals, not by the government. Next, companies and corporations that are government run are part of what is known as the public sector, while charities and other non-profit organizations are run by public sector. It was believed that the government was the sole protector of the people and would work towards social welfare. Next, India has sustained rapid growth of GDP for most of the last 2 decades, leading to rising per capita income and a reduction in absolute poverty. So, by increasing income, we can reduce the poverty. Per capita income have doubled in 12 years. Next, life expectancy. Expectancy means the state of thinking or hoping that something, especially something good, will happen. So, life expectancy is a statistical measure of the average time an organism is expected to live based on the year of its birth, its current age, and other demographic factors, including gender. Life expectancy at birth is 65 years and 40% of children under 5 are malnutrition. The literacy rate for the population aged 15 years and above is only 63% compared to a 71% figure for lower middle income countries. India has followed a different path of development from many other countries. So these are the things which is included in the developmental path based on GDP and employment. Next, factors supporting Indian development. So in this heading, we are going to see what are the factors support for the development of Indian economy. First, a fast growing population of working age is an important factor. So there are 700 million Indians under the age of 35, and the demographics look good for Indian growth in the next 20 years at least. Next, India has a strong legal system and many English language speakers. This has been a key to attracting inward investment from companies such as those specializing in information technology. So, India has many English speakers, so we can sustain in any other countries. Next, India's economy has successfully developed in highly advanced and attractive clusters of business in the technology space. External economies of scale have deepened their competitive advantages in many related industries. So based on the land formation, agricultural products, so many countries want to establish their industries in our country that will help to develop our economic condition. What are economics of scale? Economies of scale arise when the cost per unit falls as output increase. It is classified into two. One is internal economies of scale, another one is external economies of scale. Internal economies of scale means as a business grow in scale, its cost will fall due to internal economies of scale and ability to produce units of output more cheaply. External economies of scale means or those shared by a number of business in the same industry in a particular area. It is nothing but based on the number of production, the cost will be vary. If the product will be produced in more number means the cost will be reduced. If it is in a surplus means the cost will be reduced. If it is in demand means the cost will be raised. Next, growth of GDP and economic policies. Many economic policies have been framed by the Government of India since independence for increasing rate of economic growth and development. The important economic policies are, first one is agriculture policy. Agricultural policy is a set of government decisions and actions relating to domestic agriculture and imports of foreign agricultural products. So, agricultural policy is a set of government decisions and actions, which means a group of people will make decisions regarding agriculture relating to domestic agriculture. Domestic agriculture means product which is produced within the country and import product from other countries which is needed for agriculture purpose. Then some overarching themes including risk management and adjustment, economic stability, natural resources and environmental sustainability, research and development and market access for domestic commodities. Some agricultural policies are price policy. Price policy regarding buying and selling of products for agriculture purpose. Next, land reform policy. It is for making improvement in land like fertility, etc. Then green revolution, irrigation policy, food policy, agricultural labor policy and cooperative policy. Next, industrial policy. Industrial development is a very important aspect of any economy. It creates employment, promotes research and development, leads to modernization and ultimately makes the economy self-sufficient. So, industrial development is a very important aspect of any economy. It creates employment, promotes research and development, leads to modernization and ultimately makes the economy self-sufficient. In fact, industrial development even boosts other sectors of the economy like agricultural sector, that is new farming technology, and the service sector. It is also closely related to the development of trade. Trade means buying and selling of products. Several industrial policies since 1948, industrial policy on large scale industries, that is textile industry policy, sugar industry policy, price policy of industrial growth, small scale industrial policy and industrial labor policy. Next, new economic policy. The economy of India had undergone significant policy shift in the beginning of the 1990s. This new model of economic reforms is commonly known as LPG or liberalization, privatization and globalization model. Let's see one by one. First one is liberalization. Liberalization is a process or means of the elimination of the control of the state over economic activity. It provides greater autonomy to the business enterprises in decision making and eliminate government interference. Next, privatization. Privatization means different things including moving something from the public sector into the private sector. Next, impacts of privatization. In positive effects, private company cut cost and be more efficient. The product will be efficient for their cost. Next, increased competition. So, there is a competition among them to develop their industries. Next one is more responsive to customer complaints because customers plays an important role to develop their industries. In negative effects, public service. They will not care for the welfare of the people. They will focus on their profit alone. Next one is job losses. If they face any loss in their industries, they will reduce their employees. And privatization is expensive, which means it is very costly. Next, globalization. Globalization means the speed up of movements and exchange of human beings and goods and services, capital, etc. Impacts of globalization. In positive effects, expansion of market. They can expand their branches in some other countries. Next, development of infrastructure, higher living standard, international cooperation. In negative effects, cutthroat competition, which means heavy competition among them to develop their countries. rise in monopoly, take over of domestic firms, increase in inequalities. Apart from agriculture policy, industrial policy and new economic policy, some other policies in India. They are trade policy, employment policy, currency and banking policy, wage policy which means salary policy, and population policy. Okay students, here I gave some evaluation. Try to answer this question. What are the factors supporting to develop the Indian economy? Write the name of economic policies in India. Write the difference between the growth and development. This is your important 5 mark students. Explain the developmental path based on GDP and employment. Thank you students.